Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we thought about doing this for some time now, and we've never done it, but we're going to do it in this video, so hopefully you're going to enjoy it. The bit of our travels that you don't get to see really is the evening, and that's because we just have a bit of time together, don't we?
Yeah.
But we thought we'd share it actually, and what we tend to do is to make things interesting. We pick an artist and we create a night around it, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Van Gogh, I'm talking about a musical
artist. We have different tastes in music, don't we?
We do. And I like to think that it's, as a musician, I like to try and educate Claire into music, whereas Claire thinks that she can educate me. In fact, one time, you remember when I bought that car, it had a really good stereo in it?
Yes.
And you told me it was totally wasted on me.
It was.
But,
It was wasted on you.
so Claire likes Venga Boys, Wham.
I love Boney M.
Boney M. She also likes dance music. So basically, it's anything that's made on a laptop, whereas I like more
Real music.
traditional ways of doing things. So anyway, this week, I'm going to try and educate Claire into George Harrison. Do you know anything about George Harrison?
I know he's a Beatle.
He was a Beatle.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a Beatle. I think he was born in like 1943 in Liverpool, and then he joined the Beatles. So
I don't know anything else though.
you don't know anything
He's a
else about it? Well, we're going to be looking at my favourite song, my favourite George Harrison song.
Okay.
If I'm strictly true, it's not actually my favourite George Harrison song, but we couldn't get the licensing for Here
So that
Comes the Sun. So it's my second favourite, which is My Sweet Lord. Have you heard that song before?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It's all right.
It's an absolute classic.
I wouldn't listen to it out of choice.
You wouldn't?
Probably not now.
I think this was the first #1 of any Beatle outside of the Beatles.
Was it?
Yeah.
The first solo non-Beatle song?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's really heavily influenced by George's interests,
Right.
which were Eastern music. Have you heard of Ravi Shankar?
Oh,
Ravi Shankar.
is that Curry?
Ravi Shankar, that's Nora Jones's dad. Have you heard of Nora Jones?
I do know Nora Jones, yes.
Okay, there you
Is that
go.
her dad?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of him.
Well, Ravi Shankar was like a sitar player. He played on quite a few
He's
things. A sitar player. Do you know what a sitar is?
Do you mean guitar?
No, sitar's like, you know, that type of sound.
A sitar?
Yeah, and he
never
did
heard that
things
word.
with George Harrison, John McLaughlin. You heard of John McLaughlin?
Never heard of him.
Oh,
Isn't that Glockenspiel, sorry.
John McLaughlin spiel.
Craig McLaughlin.
I think you were from Neighbours, weren't you?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can see the challenge that I've got. So I'm gonna talk to you about George Harrison and My Sweet Lord and things about George Harrison. I think he was a really, really interesting guy. I think he was known as a quiet Beatle, and that led to him leaving the Beatles because he kind of got overshadowed by John Lennon.
Did he
and
leave
Paul
the
McCartney.
Beatles?
Yeah, they kind of saw him as like a junior to them for songwriting. But to be fair, he were a monster songwriter.
Right.
In fact, you know,
Did he write a lot of songs then?
loads. In fact, when he left the Beatles, he got all his catalogue of songs and he released them all. I think they were like on a triple album. So, yeah. And some of the songs that he wrote, brilliant. Do you know any other George Michael?
I know George Michael, Club Tropicana.
What a slip there. That's because I'm talking to you. Do you know any other
You'd rule
George?
off loads of George Michael ones.
Do you know any other George Harrison songs?
No.
What about Got My Mind Set on You?
God, yeah, I know that one.
Okay. Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah,
While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
I've heard of it.
Whoever doesn't choose the song or the artist, then the other person does the cooking.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But you got to do a bit of research into it, so you can't just cook what you want.
Yeah.
So you've done a bit of research into George Harrison.
Yeah.
What we eating
We're having a curry.
because of the Eastern influence.
Yeah.
Is that what you found
That's
out?
right, yeah, I did find that out.
I love a chicken curry, beef curry,
Yeah.
any of that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, we're having a vegetable curry.
A vegetable curry.
Yeah.
But that's not even a meal, is it, if you haven't got meat in it?
George Harrison was a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian?
Yeah. We're having a vegetable curry.
I've gone and picked wrong Beatle. I should have picked Paul McCartney.
Oops.
So what's this then?
So this is my stuff for our vegetable curry.
Coriander.
Yeah, I love
What's that?
coriander. It's a courgette,
A
carrot,
carrot.
pepper, onion, garlic.
So where's like the main bit of it, because you have like a chicken or a beef.
Vegetarian curry, remember?
But I know, but what's the middle bit of it?
This is it. The carrot.
That's like a sauce, isn't it?
This is it.
Oh.
There is nothing else. This is what you have in vegetable curries.
Right.
It's a lot of vegetables. Coconut milk, tomatoes. Look at all these. I've even bought these. I mean, who's got that in their cupboard? Do you know what I mean?
So what kind of curry is it then?
Just a George Harrison one.
Right. Well, let's get cooking.
This is not the kind of curry I make. So I've got no idea what it's going to be like. Now I didn't get any actual proper oil, so I've just got our one spray. So
Okay.
slight deviation on.
All right.
Okay, right. I think
So-
you're supposed to do one spray, but I put in loads more than that. Okay. I'm going to cut the onion on the little board with the steak knife.
It is a little, yeah. Oh, we still ain't got a proper knife in here. We need you a proper knife. Well, not need you a proper knife.
Yeah, did you hear that, everybody?
Yeah, we need.
Yeah, we all heard that one, Andrew.
We need to get a proper knife, don't we?
This is fine.
So, anyway, My Sweet Lord. Then it were
Yeah.
1970. It came out.
Now before we were born.
Yeah, late 1970, and it's quite like a spiritual song, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's got this mixture of, it says Hare Krishna,
Who
and
was
it
he?
says it says Hallelujah. So like a mixture between like Christian and Eastern faiths.
All right.
Good crossover. Do you want to know like how it's put together musically? Or are you not interested?
What do you think? Yeah, I can't wait. Tell me.
Ooh, what's your
Rings off
fingers?
the old finger nearly came off then.
You might be saying Hare Krishna there. You might be saying Jesus Christ. It's in F sharp minor chord. That's what starts it off.
I don't know what that is.
No. And then it goes up to a B, major.
Okay.
And it puts it, if you want to get technical with it, if there's any musicians here, like in F sharp Dorian mode, which is quite interesting. Do you know about majors and minors in music?
I've heard about majors and minors because Simply Red have got a song and they talk about major and minor in it. I think
Oh, do
it's
they?
musical, yeah. I'm guessing. I've no idea really, but
So, well, minors chords sound sad
oh,
and major chords sound happy.
right.
And it's really interesting because really good songwriters, they take all this into account. It starts off in like this minor, but it's called Dorian mode, right?
I think she were on Birds of a Feather.
Dorian. And Dorian mode is like it's
Yeah.
minor, but it's like being changed from a normal minor. So there's like a little bit of a lift in it.
Oh my god.
So
that's
not
fun.
being, oh god, what's happened there? Are you growing it?
We got dodgy garlic.
So it gives you like this, almost like a longing sound, you know?
A longing, right?
Because he wants to meet the Lord, doesn't he?
I don't know. What's it about? Him wanting to meet the Lord?
Yeah, he wants to meet the Lord.
What
he wants
for?
to like get close to it. It's like a chant because it keeps singing My Sweet Lord.
Okay.
It's like a call and response almost. But yeah, the story mode, it's not like if you write a song and it's like minor, it's generally a bit like sad, you know, like
Okay.
stuff like I listen to, not like what
So
you
what
do.
chords are Wham songs done in?
They're usually major ones because it's like upbeat and happy,
Right.
you know? Anyway, but what happens with this then? Like when it gets to chorus, it goes happy. Where he says, I really want to meet you, he's going all happy.
I wonder why he wants to meet him.
Well, because of his faith.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like quite hopeful. So the chords that they use in songs make it, you know,
It's really important then.
really important. It's like sets the scene, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Behind it. And there's what we're doing now then.
Just putting it in his pan.
Just flicking it on back there.
Everybody does that. It's the thing that you do when you're a chef.
So how are you feeling like it's going at the minute? Good?
See, I'm just going to wang it all in a pan. I've got a bit of good news for everybody watching this. If you've seen me cook before, you know about my microwave rice pan.
Yeah.
That's what's going in there.
What, yeah, we're doing that again?
We're having some microwave rice in the pan.
So we're not microwaving it
No, microwave don't work.
because we're off grid.
Yeah. It's looking nice, yeah?
Looking good. So do you know who George Harrison's best friend were?
George Benson?
No.
I don't know. George.
Why does it have to be someone called
I
George?
don't know, I thought maybe it would. Harrison.
Who's your best friend?
They're not
Claire from
Claire.
Steps?
She wishes. Bit more oil. Yeah, but you need more than one. Oh, by the way, I've not actually got the recipe thinking about this. In terms of how much of that I need. Things do take a lot longer in this van.
They do, yeah.
Last time you cooked in the van was in France and you made a salad. So
Who's his best friend? Not George Benson. Not George from Asda.
Yeah. George Ezra? No, I don't know.
Eric Clapton. Have you heard of Eric Clapton?
Oh, I have, yeah.
Yeah, Eric Clapton. Now, on My Sweet Lord, a lot of people thought that Eric Clapton played the slide guitar on it. You know the slide guitar?
Slide guitar?
Yeah, you know the bit that goes doo 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 doo.
Yeah.
You know that section?
Yeah.
And people thought it was Eric Clapton, but it wasn't actually.
A slide guitar? Is that like a different type of guitar then?
Have you ever seen? Can you remember that Budweiser advert where there was that guy and
What's
he's
that?
no, not that one. And he were auditioning for a band and he played that really cool thing using a Budweiser bottle. Can you remember it?
No.
Right. Well, that was slide guitar.
Oh, okay.
It's
Have
like
you got
where.
a slide guitar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got a slide. It's a slide on the guitar, so you can use like
Slide, not slide.
no slide.
Oh, right.
So you can use like the top of a bottle.
Mm.
People cut them off and use that, or you can buy a metal, whatever.
Oh, right, that's good.
Yeah. So I thought it was Eric Clapton, but it weren't. But apparently, there's some talk that Eric Clapton is hidden on that track somewhere, playing acoustic, but he's uncredited.
Oh, right. Why have you uncredited?
Well, because he used to go and record with George Harrison, and maybe it were on there, maybe it weren't.
Is that a bit like that Mick Jagger thing you told me about, where he's on Carly Simon's song and nobody really knows about it?
What, You're So Vain?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is on the back of that. You can tell, though.
You see, that was another night we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I remembered that. I haven't got a peeler, so we're just having this like not peeled.
Did you know that Eric Clapton, he ran off with George Harrison's girlfriend, Patty Boyd? Yeah, he did.
That's not very
And they were
nice,
best friends.
is it? That's terrible. So, what happened?
Well, they remained friends.
Really?
And I think even George Harrison went to the wedding.
You went to the wedding of his
Yeah.
ex-wife?
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
I know.
He seems a bit too nice to me.
But I think he were quite easygoing, you know. That's why they said he was a quiet Beatle.
I think I should have prepped before. I'm just going to turn it off a second.
So George Harrison were actually asked about what he felt about Eric Clapton marrying his girlfriend. And he said, I'd prefer her to marry him than some dope.
I think I should put some spices in now.
Yeah, I would. What are we going for?
Well, I've got them all. What do you think I need to put in first? I probably need to look this up.
What's that? Ginger? I think, would that go in afterwards? Because that's going to burn.
All right, yeah.
So just put your other spices in. So what's this?
Garam masala.
Okay.
People are going to be getting a lot of tips from my cooking style.
What's your fingers?
It's quite unique, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have many visitors for my food. I don't really know why that is, but it's not coming out very well. That's when it goes wrong, when you like, it's not coming out, so you just put more.
So what is that?
That's cumin. Now, turmeric's actually very good for you, actually.
I've heard this. What does it do?
People, I think it's good for cancers and things. People like drink this, don't they? You can get it in Marks Spencer's, them little tiny shots you get.
Oh, yeah.
And this is curry powder, and I selected medium. It didn't say on the recipe. There was
Medium.
medium or hot. I thought, well, I'll go for medium. I think I should use a teaspoon for this. Not really.
Why? How many teaspoons does it need?
No idea. We don't normally have curries in the van, do we? You don't like curries in the van, do you?
It smells, doesn't it? Got windows open today, though.
I'm going to put that in. Just how you do your curry.
I don't think I've made curry.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking everybody who's watching.
Oh.
Gordon Ramsay's watching this, so he can learn from my skills. I might get a call this week to say they don't want to collab on a book. I've only got a small pan, that's the problem. So are you not enthralled about the fact there's no meat in this? How do you feel about
It's
that?
like a sauce, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? This is like what you have.
Like a dolmio.
Yeah, and then you cook your meat first and then put this on. But this is just...
I suppose with this, you know exactly what's in your meal here, don't you?
Yeah, but if you put chicken in, I'd know there was chicken in it.
Yeah, well, you said
You know what I mean?
that's what we do, don't we? We cook what they would like. This is what George would eat if he was in his van.
What else did you find out about him? Were he teetotal? I hope not. Might
Well,
need something to swallow this down.
we don't normally copy the drinking section, do we? Oh, I've not got my ginger in.
Well, I don't know if that's going to make it smell more like a curry, do you think?
No, but
Don't get all ginger in your mouth.
I know. We have no idea what we're doing.
So just a slight correction, actually. Pattie Boyd wasn't George Harrison's girlfriend. It was his wife. She left him for Eric Clapton.
Well, that's very naughty, isn't it?
So you haven't copied this recipe off anybody? You're just winging it, really?
Copied it from me.
What was that? You just put in some pepper?
Salt and pepper, yeah. I will put a bit of that in. Can't go wrong with a bit of salt and pepper again. And I put some extra cumin and turmeric in because it's not really curry-like.
Right.
And then I'm going to put a bit more curry powder in, but I'm going to just wait a minute.
Well, this is unique, which is quite important, actually. And do you know why?
Why?
Because my sweet lord, George Harrison, actually had a lawsuit with it.
No way. Go on then.
Really interesting lawsuit, actually, because there's a song by a band called the Chiffons that came out in 1963 called He's So Fine.
Right.
Now,
I know that song.
Yeah. You'll have seen these copyright claims in news.
Yeah.
Recently. Ed Sheeran gets dragged through the courts all the time.
Right.
Okay. And I always find it amusing that happens.
Why?
Because, right, if you're doing a song that's not crazy and it's just in one key, do you know what I mean by one key? Like where, you know, like if a singer sings out of key, it's because they're using notes that don't belong to. Oh, look at that! Let's have that back out at sync.
Yeah, it's fine. Not in sync. That's bad for us.
So basically, if you're going to write a song that's in key, you know, like what I was saying about major chords and minor chords.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 3 major chords in a key. There's only 3 minor chords in a key. So imagine that. You've got a choice of 6 chords to make every song.
So every song in the whole wide world's only got 6 chords?
Well, that's not true because you can borrow chords from different keys, but in a straightforward song, which is like a lot of modern music now, a lot of modern music just uses 4 chords, but there's only 6 to choose from, okay? And My Sweet Lord, it does some other stuff, but in different sections, it's just using, you know, a few of these 6 chords.
Right.
So what happens is, you know, like, it gets dragged through courts where it's like, well, this is using the same chord progression as this song or as that song, but everybody just uses the same things anyway. It gets quite predictable. So I don't know if you've ever seen a musician where they listen to a song and they can play it straight away.
You're like that, aren't you?
Yeah, I can do it, yeah. Because if you understand how it works, it's not that magic, really.
So will we run out of songs one day?
No, because they just get repackaged. It's a different singer's voice, different words, different beat. You know, so there's all these different variables that make it. But as far as just chord progression, even jazz that's got a lot more complex chords, they have what are you doing?
Smelling it.
They use all, you know, similar chord progressions. Now then, with My Sweet Lord though, what's really interesting is if you go and listen to He's So Fine by the Chiffons, it's actually like, you listen to it and you think, that's the same song.
Can you hear it, can you?
It's just different words.
Really?
Yeah. What are you just putting there?
Coconut milk.
Coconut milk. Oh yeah.
I love coconut milk.
Just like a Sri Lankan curry there.
No idea. No, it's a George Harrison one.
Well, when this went to court, they found out that George Harrison hadn't consciously plagiarised this song.
Right.
But they managed to prove that he did have access to this song because he went across to America and he'd have listened to it then. So they said that he subconsciously copied the song.
Wow. Can you? Well, I suppose you can do that easily, can't you?
Yeah. So the copyright claim stood. So that basically he'd heard it and then somehow he'd written this song, so he liked it, but it wasn't original.
So he lost that then. It was proven that was what happened. Wow.
And it made him really paranoid about writing other songs.
Yeah, in case he did the same thing.
Because he thought, well, you know, how much is influence and how much is just copying? So he was coming up with these melodies and these chord progressions, but it could be that he'd heard it before.
I think that about my chord progressions.
And then he finally did start writing again. He did another one called This Song. And that basically addressed what they were doing, apparently.
Really?
Apparently, yeah. I'm not that familiar with that song. You?
Never heard of it.
Not a surprise.
No, your song.
So luckily, I think we're not going to get a copyright strike on this video because this curry's never been made before.
No. But you know what? You keep an eye out because this is going to end up in books, this.
So what we got in now, some
So I'm trying to cram in the spinach.
Yeah.
So the theory here is that it's going to wilt down and I can put the whole lot in, but that won't happen.
So we don't quite know what's gone in it now. We've forgotten.
I know what's in it, but in terms of measurements, no idea.
No.
Yeah.
A bit like what happened with this album. It was called All Things Must Pass.
Right.
This triple album. And there were loads of people in and out of these sessions, and they did about 30 songs.
Wow.
Yeah. Ringo Starr, you heard of Ringo Starr?
Yeah. Oh, is he a Beatle?
You're the drummer for Beatles.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Ringo Starr, a guy called Jim Gordon, he used to play as a session musician for Derek and the Dominoes. That were Eric Clapton's band.
Right.
Another guy who were on there was Peter Frampton. You heard of Peter Frampton?
Never heard of him.
One of the best live albums of all time, Frampton Comes Alive. Everybody thinks that, but I think that.
Do you think that?
Yeah, absolutely. Have you heard I Want You to Show Me the Way?
Yes.
Peter Frampton. They did the original take of it, and then they did some overdubs. It's like where you play over the top of it, and it was George Harrison and also Peter Frampton. But this is why there's a lot of confusion, because there were so many takes, 30 songs on this album, and they kept doing it. Other different people come in, they'd work on stuff, and then they kind of like lost track of who played on what.
Wow.
So if you look for who drummed on My Sweet Lord, some people think it's Ringo Starr, some people think it's Jim Gordon.
Oh, right.
Some people think that it's Eric Clapton doing Slide, but saying it's George Harrison. And George Harrison did all the choir parts on it, but it got credited to this, I can't remember what it's called now, this choir. It's actually George Harrison himself.
Really?
Really interesting, I think. Do you?
Yeah, would you like another beer?
So what it is, Dora, is George Harrison in 1970. That classic Indian drink.
Oh, yes, I should have got some. Is it Tiger?
Sing?
Sing?
Yeah.
Sing what? Sting?
No, sing. Singer.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's Thai.
Oh, right. I thought
It's not Sting. No, it's
Sting.
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 Oh, it's Sting coming
Oh,
round.
George Harrison.
It probably does.
Probably does, yeah.
I probably did.
Right, listen. I'm going to put some more spinach in this.
Right.
I think we're not going to have much spinach in that because there's just no room, but it doesn't seem to be shrivelling up. So I think that'll be it for now. I think that is the spinach.
Okay.
Over and
And
done
is this the rice pan?
That's my rice pan. It'll have flavour in it 'cause it's got dregs of that sauce. It'll be lovely, that. I might start a cooking channel.
Really?
Just saying. Yeah.
But you're supposed to give recipes out, aren't you? So,
This is the recipe.
but you don't know what's in it.
It's the George Harrison Clare curry.
Well, you've heard of the hairy bikers.
Yeah.
You could be like the hairy motorhome.
Hairy? Why hairy?
Well, that's what chefs are, aren't they?
Hairy?
Hairy, yeah.
Nigella's not hairy.
So do you know who produced My Sweet Lord? Do you know what I mean by producing it?
They just make sure that the right tone's there and the right...
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Phil Spector. You heard of Phil Spector?
No.
You're quite a controversial figure towards the back end.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
Tell
but
me
basically he worked with the Ronettes,
I know the Ronettes.
Righteous Brothers,
Yeah.
George Harrison, loads and loads of people, loads. But they were famous for this thing called the Wall of Sound.
Right.
And basically, it was different to anything else. He'd double instruments up and create like what we call a chorusing effect. Like a chorus, like where you're in singing a chorus, like a choir chorus, where it's like if me and you sung, what was your John McLaughlin song that you know? Mona.
Craig McLaughlin. Yeah.
If we sung that together, it'd be like a chorusing effect.
It'd be lovely, that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like doubling up.
Just two people, you mean, singing it?
Or instruments or whatever. It creates a wall of sound, like a really thick sound.
You played the guitar and I played the recorder. Were we doubling up there?
No.
Oh, look, that's looking good now, that, isn't it? I'm going to do the rice now. Now, last time, people pointed out I didn't squidge the rice.
Do other people do this?
No, but they said that it might have been better if I'd squidged the rice in the first place, which is valid.
It were a block,
I've done this before, yeah, and I did forget to squidge the rice. That's true.
So this is going to be better then?
This is not a new concept to me.
Oh, look, that's come out better.
It was in big lumps last time. You can change your life. Would you like to try a bit?
George Harrison curry. Oh, it's very nice, actually. Do you know any famous people called with a surname of Rice?
Annika?
Yeah.
Tim?
Tim Rice. That footballer.
Isn't there that famous singer that you like? He's got Rice in his surname.
Damien Rice.
Damien Rice.
Anybody else know any famous Rices?
Gonna
Head
go.
Rice. Do you feel like you've learnt something about George Harrison? Have you been interested in it?
Really interested, yeah.
You think you'll listen to more George Harrison songs now?
Probably not. But when one comes on, I'll say, oh, I know about this guy. He's a vegetarian. Right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Lumping that in there.
Eric Clapton actually bought Burythorpe Hotel, which is in Malton in North Yorkshire.
Oh, why did he buy that?
Right, investment, I'd imagine. Dishing up.
Yep. It's going to be the nicest vegetable curry that you've ever had.
I've never had a vegetable curry before.
You go then, that's why it is. Get you plenty of juice. I like juice in my curry, do you?
Depends what it is.
Oh, I need to put the garnish on. Do you know what? When I open the store, there's going to be a queue of people wanting to try this. And they'll be saying, Claire, come round my van.
I'll tell you what, Claire, that looks absolutely delicious. Thank you. So we're about to find out if this is My Sweet Lord or Good Lord. Let's see what it's like. It's very nice,
I
thank
think
you.
it's nice,
Claire.
yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. Let us know if you like to see what we get up to on an evening. This is what we do.
And would you have a night like this in your van?
You might
Try it.
Yeah, you might think, well, there's a reason why I haven't put these out before, but hopefully you've enjoyed the story of George Harrison and My Sweet Lord as much as Claire has. And maybe you can try your own vegetable curry.
Yeah. There's one thing I'd like to say.
What?
Maybe people would like to have the evening swapped over and we'll do a song of my choice. Please like, comment, subscribe. Facebook, Instagram.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.